Resolution 1017-24, resolution authorizing the annual appropriation measure for fiscal year 2025.
And my final resolution today would authorize the 2025 appropriation measure for Franklin County. Under the direction of the County Administrator, the Office of Management and Budget has put together this $2.2 billion budget for the 35 agencies under the budgetary authority of the Commissioners. The proposed budget for the general fund is $677 million, which is less than 1% more than the 2024 projected expenditures. The main source of revenue in the general fund is the sales tax, which is estimated at $414 million and comprises 62% of general fund revenue. Due to stagnating revenues, the end of federal pandemic support, and increasing costs, the 2025 budget includes a $12 million draw from unrestricted cash reserves. Despite the use of these reserves, the 2025 budget keeps the cash balance among the levels of other counties rated AAA by Moody's and Standard & Poor's, and the county's Economic Stabilization Reserve, or Rainy Day Fund, will remain untouched. Before turning to the County Administrator for any few words, I'd like to thank the fiscal staff at each of the agencies, boards, courts, and elected offices for working with OMB during this year's process, as well as the staff within the Office of Management and Budget, both who are in the audience and online.
President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Crowley, Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. I would like to, as I stated when recommending the budget last month, I want to give a special acknowledgement to a very close partner of mine, the OMB Director, Zach Talaric, and the entire team of the Office of Management and Budget that have come out. We don't see them all the time. They be here putting in work, but I want to again commend them for their work. This is not a short process to come to a budget of $2.2 billion, $2,256,636 and $615. That is a lot. In 35 agencies, our dedicated employees of Team Franklin County and the elected officials, and we could not do this without the leadership of you all as commissioners, ensuring that we act in a fiscally prudent manner, and as evidenced by the discussion we just had concerning the Board of Elections, you all want us to be best in class in everything we do to the extent possible, and you all motivate us to do better, just like I guess we might have to have, I see the PFM director in the back, Darla Reardon, we might have to put service progress and excellence and opportunity to see if those letters fit, because I think we've been told to change and add something extra. If not, we will just act in silence and promote opportunity, economic mobility, all those things we talk about each and every day. And as Director Talaric says, that we have gone through some fiscal challenges due to the pandemic. We were blessed to have federal appropriations provided at a generational level that we've been able to expend prudently and effectively and have pulled us through this moment. But there are some things that we are cognizant of, as the director pointed out, using some cash that we've built up, $12 million in this budget. But we have a double AAA bond rating. We have an excellent team of individuals that are serving the 1.35 million residents of Franklin County. And I respectfully would recommend passage and consideration of this budget for 2025.
Other questions or comments?
I didn't know, President Boyce, if we can make comments now about whether the budget or just ending this year, or if you wanted to wait.
No, now's just be perfect time. I'm going to make some too. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, then
please.
Thank you. Thank you to the budget staff. Thank you to administration. Thank you for putting together this fiscally prudent budget for 2025. Looking forward to serving and meeting the needs of the community. in the next year. But I want to say thank you to all of the staff across 35 agencies for all the work that you have done for 2024. We had some very big aspirational goals, trying to meet the needs of our neighbors with shifting priorities, with shifting emergencies, still seeing the impact of COVID-19. And so it doesn't, I don't take it lightly, all the work that you all do each and every day. We talk about how the commissioners set the vision for the county, but the vision is based off of the needs of our community members. But it is the staff across all 35 agencies that implement that vision and move it forward each and every day. So thank you. Thank you. And I know thank you is insufficient, but my limited vocabulary, that's what I have, is just saying thank you. My gratitude for what you do each and every day grows every day. And I want to say thank you to administration for all that you do, to Administrator Wilson and our deputy county administrators, for having to, deal with 3 very different commissioners, but we might be different, but our love for our community is the same. We wake up, and I know they'll say their comments, but I know that we all wake up each and every day trying to figure out what we can do to make the lives better for our neighbors. There are days that I don't sleep because I am trying to figure out how to solve a problem. I spend probably more time here than I do at home. And I always get mushy. I don't take it lightly, the responsibility to serve you all and to be in this position. I've only been living here 10 years, and to even be in this position, that's only by the grace of God that He allows me to have this opportunity and the privilege to serve you all. Whether it's administration, whether it's our staff, again, across the BOC and 35 agencies, but an honor to serve our residents, to provide service, to move progress forward, and that our service is excellent, and to provide opportunities. To my colleagues, it is an absolute honor to serve beside you all. I apologize to Commissioner Boyce earlier for getting the Steelers record wrong, and I was like, I have been claiming a win since the last meeting between the Browns and the Steelers, but I did that because I never want to undermine him. These aren't just my colleagues; I consider them my friends, and so. For 2024, it's been great serving with you all. As you all see, we have fun, but we take our work very, very seriously. We deal with big issues. We deal with complex issues. And sometimes, a lot of times, we don't have the answer for, but we're trying to figure it out each and every day. And the fact that I get to sit here next to them, where they have the same passion, the drive to make sure that we move this county forward, that we continue to be one that's a AAA bond rating, that we are looked to by other counties as one of excellence, one of forward thinking, innovative. I am excited about the work and the opportunity to serve, and looking forward to more of that in 2024. And so, again, I wish I had something beyond thank you to my colleagues, but thank you. It's an honor to serve with you all, and I'm looking forward to what we can do, even bolder, even better, and definitely an even brighter future for 2025. Thank you.
Very well said.
Well, I'd also like to say thank you to my colleagues, but I also want to say thank you to all of you guys, because, as I always say, you guys, you make us look good, which isn't easy all the time, I know. But also, you guys do all the work on behalf of, as we say, every resident every day. And Commissioner Boyce and I got reelected last month, and I get to, in January, I get to start my 17th year. I get to start my 5th term as a county commissioner, and I enjoy it every bit as much now as I did when I first became a county commissioner. And other than my wife and kids, it's the love of my life. I appreciate this job and the work that we do more than anything else. And because we're working on behalf of the residents of Franklin County. And, you know, the work, when we go to CCAO, when I go to CCAO, when I go to NACO, I'm proud of what we do here. I'm proud of the work that all of you guys do on behalf of the residents of Franklin County, and I'm proud to share it. I'm proud to share what we do on behalf of the residents of this county, because I know that what we're doing is some of the best work in the country. And I know that, we brag a lot about Franklin County, but I know that bravado, that braggadocious attitude that we have is well-founded, because I know that the service that we're giving our community, our residents, is as good as anybody's giving their residents throughout the country. I also like to go to those things because I like to learn. I like to hear. Joy and I talked about this. We talk about it all the time. I like to learn what they're doing in other counties across the state and what they're doing in other counties across the country. There's no idea out there that's too good to steal, and bring it back here and continue to serve our community here. And when we're on these calls that we do every month with the elected officials in Franklin County, I always like to remind them to say thank you on behalf of the commissioners, to all of the staff that, of their agencies, whether it's the directors or the other elected officials, because the work that the staff is doing on behalf of the residents is the most important stuff. We get the credit. We get all the credit, we get all the glory, but the work that you guys are doing is what matters. We just get to sit up here every week and make the votes. Sometimes it's hard, but usually it's not. Usually the work that we do is the glory. Usually the work that we do is the easy part. Usually the work that we do is, it's the culmination of all the hard work that you guys do. Every once in a while, we have to make some hard decisions. Every couple of weeks, every month or so, we have to make a really tough decision. But that's what we got elected for. The work that you guys are doing every day, that's all the hard stuff. That's all the blocking and tackling. That's all the stuff that's the heavy lifting. So we really appreciate the stuff that you guys do day in and day out. The stuff that these guys do to get the budget ready for us to vote on. The stuff that you guys are all doing every day to serve the residents. That's the hard work. So we really appreciate all of you.
Trying to figure out where to start. One, let me thank my colleagues. Let me start there. That, man, serving with you guys I wouldn't pick, and I mean this. I would not sit next to two other people. I mean, you guys make this job fun, interesting, challenging, and in every way. And we don't always agree on everything. Sometimes it looks like we're up here, we all in sync and just kind of going through the process. That's not the case. There are a lot of conversations that go on, and we just don't always agree on things. And sometimes the difference in agreement is fighting about the agreement or just doing what's in the best interest of the county. And that's what I love about these two people serving with. And I couldn't echo better what you've said about working with the two of you.
Sometimes we fight.
We do. That's what I'm saying. We fight, but it's never like carried on to the next thing.
No.
We focus on what we might disagree with, and it's usually me fighting, but I'm somewhere in the fight. But they're being nice, and they're like, yeah, it is him. He's annoying. But so there's that. But a couple of things I want to focus on in the budget, because that's what we're talking about actually. And then I will close out, because this is my last meeting as president of the board, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Crawley to be sworn in. You know, when we talk about fiscal prudence, I do think we set a high standard, and I think that bond rating is but of an implication from a independent third party that says so. It's easy for us to sit here and pat ourselves on the back and say Franklin County is great. It's another thing when a third party is charged with doing that, and they come out with an analysis that says you are managing your resources to a high standard. And let me be very clear, their standard is not the end-all, be-all standard. Just because you have the gold seal of Moody's and Standard & Poor's does not make you perfect. But what it does is it analyzes the basic elements of finance that say whether or not you are of high standard. It's no different than if you had an 800-plus credit score. That suggests, doesn't mean you're perfect, but it suggests that you've managed your resources in the most prudent, upstanding way. That being said, we talked about how serious the commissioners take every step, every part of this job. And I mean that. I mean, you have no idea, when it comes to raising fees or taxes or even just making decisions and choices. We heard a presentation today from the folks who represent our shelter board strategy and community, and it's a substantial engagement of what they're asking for so that we get ahead of what is coming from a large and growing region. We've also met with the housing folks. You heard the Board of Elections discussion, the jail development and build out. There's so many competing resources with a limited resource. At the end of the day, it comes from you, the public. You pay your taxes, whether you're buying something in sales tax or your property tax or whatever, and that money comes from you. And so we're all in this together. Our job is as stewards of that fund. That being said, I do want to caution the administration for something. And again, I acknowledge you all do a great job. Zach, I wouldn't trade you for the world. You drive me nuts, but I wouldn't trade you for the world.
Yeah, he's good.
Administrator Wilson, I think that you are a thorough and thoughtful leader. I think you take your job as serious as anybody I've ever met. I've known you for a very long time. We essentially have grown up in politics together, and so I don't know a person who takes their job more seriously than you. That being said, and it goes for the administration that exists as well, but that being said, it is a red flag and an alarm when we have to take from our reserve funds. And so that should be a note to everybody how we're thinking about going forward. That is not, should be taken lightly. Should not, think about if you were taking from your own savings to pay your bills and continue as you are. That is an indication. You may have a lot of savings, and so it doesn't necessarily affect your rating, but it does say something about the systemic structure of where you exist today financially. And we've seen some agencies, we've had to, because with the runoff of TANF funds, ARPA funds, CARES Act dollars, et cetera, we've seen where the impact has an implication. And moreover, where we've been contacted by agencies that either have had to lay off workers or change programming, or agencies that are asking for more, like the shelter board folks today. Critical changes are happening right under our noses, and so when you take money from your reserve, if I were advising a client, I would say that that's something that while you are safe in your reserve funds as it meets the standard of a reserve fund, it is an implication that changes are happening. The second thing I would point out to the administration as a red flag or alarm, and again, when I say red flag, like that, those are really harsh words, so I don't mean that way, but for lack of a better way to say it, the second thing I look at as indicators is the interest rate changes by the feds. 2 this year, perhaps a third coming, and certainly some for next year. Those are substantial implications of inflation happening in the market. And that's a domino effect of things so the public understands we have a large portfolio. that portfolio is mostly vested in, it is all vested in fixed income instruments or Fed funds, and that interest, so when those rates are cut, your interest that you're earning on your investments immediately drops down, and it is significant, when you have a big portfolio like the Franklin County. And so that's the second indication. The third indication that I'm mindful of and I want us to be thoughtful about is things you're seeing going on in the social service sector. Food. Matt Habash will say at the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, we've never seen a higher pull on resources in the history of his 50 or so years of being there. And that says something. The other thing is housing. Housing is an indicator at every level of what's happening in the market. And as the CSB folks today, the Community Shelter Board folks said to us today, rents are going up at a higher rate than our comparable subset of cities and regions. And so that means what we're looking at today, yeah, we may be taking $12 million from the reserve, but we really have to project out that same gap could exist for the next 3 years or the next 4 years. And while we've got the reserves that can handle that, and a lot of places don't, while we have the funds that can absorb that, we don't want to put this region under that kind of stress. And so I think a lot of thoughtfulness has to occur. And we've got some tough decisions as commissioners to make around what our priorities are. Like I said, homelessness, housing, early childhood education, poverty, racism in general, Board of Elections. And I could just go on the list, on the list, and it's just, I see this and I feel, my heart feels heavy because I know how tough we'll take those decisions and the impact that they'll have. And so when I see the $12 million, like I say, it's not monopoly money. That's real money that comes from hardworking people like yourselves. And so we don't take that lightly. And it's not just moving this money over here and we're going about our business. I am asking, as we go forward, Administrator Wilson, I'm asking for a deep dive on our economic projections and forecasts so that we can begin to think about, we don't want to get, when it gets real tough, we don't want to have to start thinking about our employees who are forces here that make this whole thing work. And we don't want to be in that position, and so we have to stay ahead of that. And keep in mind, it should be noted, that doesn't even get at the debt service. Debt service for, say, the jail, which we are required to provide by law, that's money off the top. That's money that's right off the top. Like our employees, like our forces are. And so, again, and then when you start dipping into those reserves, and especially in multiple years, consecutive years, it will be something for us to think about, and it will make those decisions harder. So I'm saying all that to say, I'm going to challenge the administration that we don't end up. I'm hoping that we're not in this position next year where we have to take from our reserves. We should be doing that now. That's what it's there for. We should be, and that's prudency, as Commissioner Crawley laid out. That's prudency to say we're not going to just go slashing and cutting, and then there's a domino effect of things. No. The prudent way would be to take some of our savings, of which we've been robust about our savings. We've always gone above the mark, and that's why it's there, to help sort of ease some of that pain. But we've got to really just, as we go forward, let's begin to think differently. I mean, we don't know. We've got a new administration coming in that has very dramatic policy positions than the previous administration, and that could have implications as well. We were talking about HUD earlier today. That's almost certain. I mean, they've said it, and so a TANF. I mean, there are going to be a lot of things that are going to be under duress over the next 4 years, and it will have a direct implication on our budget. And so I don't mean to sound like Debbie Downer, but at the same time, or Donald Downer. Be corrector out here. I don't want any emails, any mean emails. But the point I'm saying is, again, I don't want to take away from the greatness of our administration, the leadership and skill that you guys deploy. Again, I've been at just about every level of government, and I put this group up against anybody's. I mean, it is a sound group. All of you. It's in the most incredible way. I'm telling you. But at the same time, it's hard for me. We're talking about added opportunity up there, service, progress, excellent opportunity. Well, we got to earn that. Opportunity, to me, is a word we got to earn. And this is a great community. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, but we got to live up to that first. And I just want to make sure that that we're able to provide that, because I get concerned that we just haven't been put in to see the full extent of what may be under duress for us over the next couple of years. And I don't think it's we want to make sure that opportunity is for everybody. That we have that platform to provide. So I end on this for my comments. That it's been a pleasure. Serving as president, we rotate around every year, and so it's somewhat of a figurehead role. On the flip side of it, you do a lot more work as president. It's not totally figurehead. You get a lot more. You get a lot more things that you're required to be at and do, sign, whatever. That being said, this is. I was going to say the council, General Assembly, State Treasurer. This is the best job. This is not even close. It's not even close. This is the best job that exists in politics. I'm 100% sure of it. I'm 100% sure of it. And so I'm grateful for your leadership. I got very talented colleagues, very talented administration, and then the county employees are just amazing. I mean, ridiculously amazing, and so it's grateful to serve with you. And I look forward to your leadership. I look forward to handing the gavel, the proverbial gavel, over to you, and
Thank you
look
for your
forward to
leadership.
service. Yeah, thank you. So, Kid, look like you want to say something back, but yeah, feel free. I mean, this is it. We got to pass this budget. Once it's passed, it's passed.
No, I'm taking it all in, sir. All the points made. This never gets old. I mean, I just remember the first few budgets. I was just thinking in 5-year chunks, and the work is very meaningful. And I agree. I mean, I take this job very seriously, because I believe that it's a blessing, and I have a lot of gratitude to be able to come here and do this, and have the deputy county administrators that I work with, and the entire Team Franklin County. I talk about hashtag Team Franklin County all the time, and I mean that every person that contributes in whatever role on our staff, I have a great deal of gratitude towards them, and they allow us all to do the job that we do each and every day. So I didn't want to say this out loud, because I didn't want to jinx anything, but pending you all passing this will be the 20th budget that I've been fortunate enough to be a part of as a member of Franklin County. So it is a really big deal.
No, two no's.
I should have waited till we got to the end and say, I had said it out loud. I almost wanted to put it in a recommended budget message, but I'm like, no, not doing that. So I'm going to shut up.
I was joking with Commissioner Carl. I said, Ken and I have known each other since we were staffers in the legislature way back in the day. He was in the Senate, I was in the House, and so we go way back. So many moons ago. You were there?
No, my wife was.
Yeah.
I've known Ken since, what,
Yeah, Pam, I've known her
1994.
forever, too. I've known Pam longer than I've known you, I think.
Yeah, 1994 I met Ken.
So, all right.
We were both much younger men. All right, well, if there's no further comments or questions, speak now, forever hold your peace, people. I will Move
10 years
approval of
over.
resolution 1017.
Second.
24, I'm sorry, 101724.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution 1017-24 has been adopted.